Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kyle Hurst, and I am with Rhino Toolhouse. Today, we are going to talk about the Desoutter Connect system and its advantages. Rhino Toolhouse is the nation's largest technical industrial distributor. What I mean by that is we distribute the stuff that you want technical help and expertise when you buy it and want to install it. We have over 80 sales engineers, application engineers, material handling specialists covering more than 30 states. And I currently am the division sales manager for the Central Division, and I work on a day-to-day basis with our Ohio Valley region, which spans from West Virginia to Missouri. Today, I want to illustrate part of our mission statement, and that is to identify and deliver the world's most innovative assembly solutions. But before we go into that, I want to tell a little story that I call the story of the COT cable and the PC. I think many of you who have been in a manufacturing plant, especially those with moving assembly lines, can relate to this. So this is several years ago. I'm in a vehicle assembly plant that shall remain nameless, and an electrician and I are working on a corded DC system. Because it was corded and because of the cable length, we actually had the controller and the PC, for a moment at least, riding on a carrier alongside the car. And as you can imagine, as we became more focused on the programming and on the PC, at some point in time, we lost focus on the carrier and we're more focused on the PC and crash. The incident actually caused damage to both the PC. We ripped out the USB connector, and the controller itself. We actually ripped out the board that had the other end of the USB connector plugged into it at that time. So I think this is something that has probably happened to each of you at some point in your career in manufacturing. And this got me thinking when I was learning and beginning to prepare this presentation about the Desoutter Connect system, about the common problems that are caused by cables, not just tool cables or power cables, but programming cables. And what are the reluctances that I've had in introducing cordless tools to my customers and my customers have had in adopting those? So the first question that came to mind is, have you ever had a problem with damage or marring caused by cables? Much similar to what I had there in the vehicle plant, it could be a programming cable. It doesn't have to be the tool cable itself. Have you ever wanted to move to cordless tools but were concerned about the lack of features when you went from a corded system to a cordless system, or difficulty in pairing those tools to the cordless controller? And finally, have you experienced limitations or increases in cost because of controller placement inside of your plant? It could be network drops, it could be power drops, it could be the fact that you have to have a controller for every corded tool. Those are the common problems that I know I see when I'm with my customers assisting in their assembly. I think I'm going to show you something today that you're going to be excited about that's going to solve these problems and give you a solution going forward. So that is Desoutter Connect, what we call the Industrial Smart Hub. So the first problem that we solve with the Desoutter Connect Hub is that it controls cordless tools. So one of those problems, the tool cable itself goes away immediately. And Desoutter thought about this. So they have a single controller that can control their whole range of cordless tool technology. It can be the pistols, it can be the right angles, it is even their quality control digital wrenches. One controller for all these types of tools. Next thing they did was they said, we're no longer tethered with a tool to a controller, so we can have the controller actually control many tools. So there's actually two versions of this controller. One has an embedded access point that can control as many as 10 tools, and one uses the existing plant infrastructure and plant access points, and that can control as many as 20 tools. The question of pairing is the first obstacle that we always face when we're moving to cordless technology. Desoutter thought about this and gave us two easy methods to do that. The first is wired pairing. So I can plug the tool directly into the controller and pair it one-to-one directly. And then I can do that with the next tool and the next tool and so on. The other way to do it is there's an embedded RFID chip in each tool. I can take that tool, hold it adjacent to the controller, and within 1 minute, I've got it paired wirelessly to that controller. Second drawback that often comes up when we talk about cordless tool technology is that they've had to strip down the feature set to be able to function wirelessly. Desoutter has moved completely past this. They have the full CVI3 configuration software, and all of the options inside of it, the programming, the traceability, the data collection, the assembly processes, all of that is included inside the control box. There is no limitation to this that we have seen before. We talked about a single point controlling many tools. I think it's important to talk about what we mean by that. So this controller, the Connect box itself, is able to handle as many as 20 tools with a single box. That means a single network jack and a single power adapter. Not only that, the controller itself is extremely compact. So the controller is about 10 by 4 by 9 and fits into very small spaces and allows us to be not limited or not have increased costs because of infrastructure as we have to add multiple controllers and multiple points. The other interesting part when I began to research and learn about the Desoutter Connect that I thought was very unique compared to competitors' wireless control boxes is where we can put the controller itself that opens up new flexibility that no one else has today. So the Desoutter Connect box, because of the way it works, where it can utilize plant infrastructure, allows you more options than our competitors have. So the common option that our competitors have as well is option number 1. So where can we put this control box? We can put it line side or at the end of the line, kind of line of sight that we're all familiar with. But the new options that are unique to Connect that give us increased flexibility and allow for the factory of the future are options 2 and 3. So we have the ability to have this control box remote to the entire assembly line. Option 2, we could put it in some sort of production control office or an engineering office, somewhere completely separated from the line itself that keeps all the valuable floor space around the assembly line available. And option number 3 is, as we become more of a network participant and we're using plant infrastructure, this might be stored in the server room with most of the other IT components. So these are 2 options that, again, give us the flexibility to not use any floor space at all that our competitors can. So in closing, I think you can really see the advantage here of the Desoutter Connect platform. We're going to get no tool cables, no cables for programming. We only have 1 power drop and 1 network drop. We can control as many as 20 tools, so the sheer number of controllers is greatly reduced. The ease of pairing and installation, so how do we connect the tools to the box itself, becomes extremely easy. And when we're doing that and moving to the cordless model, we're not limited in any way in the feature set of the tools themselves. So again, thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it, and I hope you learned something, and I hope we can help solve your problems together. Contact us at Rhino Tool House. Again, I'm Kyle Hurst. I appreciate your attention and have a great day.